Episode 7 of Forget You Not starts with us cutting forward to Kwang Chi's funeral. It's a somber affair, but also one that sees numerous people talking about the good he did while he was alive. Interestingly, one comment about there being less in the audience for funerals does a good job of contrasting the audience VIP seats at Lilei's comedy club. Whether intentional or not, it's a nice way of contrasting the two areas. Chang Kai is also here too, and introduces himself as a close friend of Kwang Chi's. He points out that the guy had a zest for life, and he classed him as a friend more than a father-in-law. He also goes on to mention how they both love Lilei more than anybody else. Before Lilei gets a chance to say a few words, we cut back in time to our titular character at the hospital. She prays for her father to get better, and he does actually regain consciousness. Yep, it turns out the funeral that's here, as we cut back to this earlier scene, is all for show and a big prank from Kwang Chi. When Lilei wheels him out, half the crowd are shocked and the other half are too stunned to say anything. Kwang Chi says a few words, convinced that he's a good man based on what everybody has said about him, but also not disillusioned enough to shy away from the many mistakes he's made in his life too. The funeral does work well to reframe all of Lilei and Kwang Chi's time together, which becomes a lot more warm and emotional compared to previous episodes. Kwang Chi is determined to keep up his exercise regime around the apartment, focusing on walking, and this time Lilei even takes proper photos of her dad and joins his laughs too. Unfortunately, Kwang Chi's condition continues to deteriorate, as he winds up wetting himself in his room. He's ashamed and tries to hide it from Lilei, throwing his wet trousers in the bin. Lily is none the wiser, though, and struggles to juggle responsibilities, leaving her father to head out and do her comedy set. Shockingly, Lily brings her phone with her, and as it goes off mid-set, it causes chaos. She hurriedly leaves mid-set, messes up her opportunity, and Mark is not happy with her. Lily leaves the club and tries desperately to find her father, who's off wandering around aimlessly outside. When Layla finally catches up to Kwang Chi and brings him home, she opens up about her struggles. She's sick of working double shifts, she's frustrated about him taking a loan out on the house, and Lilei is just generally struggling to keep everything together. To make matters worse, they've passed the period of critical treatment, and the only thing they need to do is look at Kwang Chi's caregiving. This falls on Lilei to handle as primary caregiver, but she needs to seriously consider putting him in a home too. Through all of this, Lilei and Kai make their divorce official, and part ways, at least on pleasant terms. Lily jokingly calls him a bachelor as they say goodbye, but it's clear that she's using humor as a crux, given her regrets over what's happened. Things aren't made any easier as Kwang Chi's condition continues to worsen back home. He's bound to his wheelchair for much of the day, and no longer able to look in the mirror and see the man he once was. Lilei eventually brings in a carer to look after him, but Kwang Chi is starting to slip. He's not focusing at all and even slips in and out of consciousness. Even worse, he locks the carer out the house and Lilei has to scramble to get home quicker. Unfortunately, this ordeal causes the carer to think twice about coming back, while Lila finds herself caught in a difficult position about how to handle this going forward. Naturally, Lilei dedicates more of her time to look after her dad, but it's the rain that causes him to jog his memories of the past. Kwang Chi wheels himself out to the rain and looks up, smiling. It reminds him of the past, and the pair have big smiles and laughter as they enjoy their time together in the rain.